Hi everyone, it's Coach Martha here. It is Monday, it's noon. The good news is you've made it halfway through a Monday, right? In so many ways, this is feeling like a Monday. I hope you guys have had an incredible weekend. I have been talking about doing this group live for a while now, and I think it's just a really good timing as more and more of us are trying to progress with our weight loss, maybe just even feeling better, feeling healthier, and getting out of hopefully this COVID situation without even more flare ups. So, thanks for joining me. I'm so glad you guys are here. As you hop on, utilize the chat function. And if you guys have questions as we get towards the end, just please let me know. The big moment, the big important thing is that if I miss your question or if we don't have time to get your question answered, please feel free to ask questions on my Facebook page or even just send me a private Facebook message and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. So one of the big reasons we introduced intermittent fasting into our weight loss programs is because I had done a lot of research, and many of you guys know I was having a bunch of health issues last year. And I wanted to really just see how effectively we could do this program and also offer it to our clients. So the big reason, there are so many ways to do intermittent fasting. There are different protocols, there's different hours. You're going to hear a lot about a 5-2 system where you eat on plan for 5 days and then you fast with a modified caloric intake for 2 days. There's an up and down method, there's a 12-12 method, there's a 24-hour fast. What we specifically do and teach with Be Martha Fit is 16-8. The reason I love doing this program for both men and women, but let's face it, more women have more hormonal issues generally than men do, is we have found, and there is scientific research behind all this, that it is an incredible program to regulate female hormones. A lot of you guys come to Be Martha Fit from hitting a very strong plateau. A lot of you come to Be Martha Fit for just overall general weight loss because you've tried everything else and you're super cautious, but you see the progress pictures that we show you guys. And my message never changes. Fix your food and you will fix your life. But 16-8 seems to resonate very well. It's easy to execute and it's also very healthy for your hormones. And I'm not just talking about that change from your mid 40s up into your mid 50s with menopause. I'm talking even hormones for girls, teens, young women in their 20s and 30s. It's such an incredible program for regulating hormones. Now, don't tune out on me if you're a woman or if you don't think you have any hormone issues. It's also an incredible program, and there's scientific basis on this for helping pre-diabetics, diabetics, girls with PCOS, anyone dealing with an insulin resistance. It is such an incredible scientifically based program. Now, I'm not going to cover the science of this. That could be a whole nother live event. But what I want to do is, because I know you guys have heard of this buzzword, some of you guys have tried intermittent fasting, I think it's really important for me just to kind of go over the top mistakes that I see people do when they're trying to execute intermittent fasting. So here is my first one. The number one mistake I see people with intermittent fasting is killing a food group. What do I mean by this? So you've got to understand that there are 3 essential macronutrients that your body needs every day to function. And each one of those, of the 3, has a different function. Your protein, that is one macronutrient. That serves a huge purpose in restoring and rebuilding your body. Whether you exercise or not, your body goes through stressors every single day. And that protein assists in rebuilding and restoring your body. Number 2, another important macronutrient is complex carbs. Carbs themselves have gotten a bad rap. You need to understand that complex carbs serve as an energy source to your muscles. I'm not talking about sugary cereals. I'm not talking about Pop-Tarts. I'm not talking about chips. I'm talking about complex carbs. We're talking rice, couscous, quinoa, sweet potatoes, black beans, things like that. That goes to, whether you're working out or not, giving your muscles energy throughout the day. The third most important, all three are equally important, but the third macronutrient are healthy fats. Think hummus, think almond milk, think nuts, think nut butters. All those three macronutrients are needed on a daily basis. So when you remove one, because a lot of people are worried about carbs, when you remove one, you are removing a foundational building block that you absolutely need. So if you've been doing intermittent fasting and just focusing on protein and fats, you may be at a stalled point, or you may not lose weight because you need that third complex carb, that third macronutrient, which is your complex carb. So never, ever, ever remove completely a food group. Of course, there is a place for carb cycling. There is a place for upping your healthy fats and reducing your complex carbs. Absolutely. But unless you fully understand when and how to do that, you may not see the results that you want to with intermittent fasting. All right. The second mistake I see is people picking a intermittent fasting time, and generally the most popular one, the one that we do with our clients, is the 16-8. So what does that mean? That means that for 16 hours, you're not going to eat food. That also includes your sleep time, all right? So what a lot of people do is then eat in 8 hours. That means getting in all your meals in 8 hours. So I always tell our clients who join us for the Be Fast program, think about what time you want to eat dinner and then back time it. A lot of them say 6 o'clock. So I say, okay, eat all your meals between 10 and 6. If it's 7 o'clock, obviously just shift it an hour, 11 to 7. Maybe you want that window to go from noon to 8. Those 8 hours that you pick, the exact 8 hours, don't matter. What does matter is that you get all your meals in that 8-hour window. So the second mistake I see is that people are eating something when they should be fasting. So let's clear up a couple of common questions that I get about this. Can you have a protein shake when you are fasting? No, you can't. Because when you drink that protein shake, your body then elicits an insulin response to what you have just drank. It's not water, it's a protein shake, all right? So therefore you've broken your fast. What we do suggest, because people are like, oh my gosh, there's no way I can do this for 16 hours. Yeah, you can. It may take you 2 or 3 days to get used to it, but absolutely you can do this. I've been doing this for a couple of years now, and frankly, I love it. Love it. So what can you have when you're not eating? So in those 16 hours when you should be fasting, what can you have? Of course, you can have water. You can have teas. You can even have coffee. The more black the coffee, the better. You will find coaches on the internet who say, yeah, you can have a cup of coffee with half and half and maybe a stevia, a little packet of stevia. I try to ease people into this, so I'm kind of under that umbrella. Use a tiny, tiny bit of half and half, a little bit of stevia, but really, really, really stay away from the protein shakes or any food. So in your fasting window, you're only going to be having water, teas, and hopefully black coffee. All right, the third mistake I see people make, and you've probably seen this before, someone's doing a 5-day fast or a 7-day fast and literally not eating anything in those 5 or 7 days. I see a lot of people who go to church do this. So I do understand that there's a purpose and a reason behind it. Perhaps you are fasting with your church for something prayerfully. I do understand that, but that is not something that we promote with Be Martha Fit, because the longer you go, the longer the days that you fast, if you're doing a 3-day fast and only drinking water, tea, and coffee during those 3 days, or a 5-day or a 7-day, what we have found is that can have the opposite effect, a very negative effect on your hormones and your metabolism. So if you're doing this with a purpose, maybe prayerfully, with your church, I do understand. I'm not going to knock it, but it is not something that we promote or even believe in with Be Martha Fit, because at the end of the day, I want you to be healthy. I want you to have stable hormones, and I want your metabolism to be on fire and doing the work that you need it to do to feel good and feel healthy. So we promote 16-8. With our Be Fast program, we do have 2 optional 24-hour fasts that we do. And if you're a part of that program, we always talk you through it. We also say that if you're pregnant, you should not do the 24-hour fast. If you are hypoglycemic, we say listen to your body, and quite often those clients will often break their fast prior to the 24 hours. That is fine. That is completely fine. So in general, we do, with our Be Fast program, the 16/8, and we have 2 optional 24-hour fast. We are never asking you to go longer than that. Again, because I want to preserve your metabolism and make your hormones as balanced as possible. All right, number 4. The number 4 mistake I see with people with intermittent fasting is not being consistent. But guys, this is across the board with any program. Any weight loss program, consistency is key. Consistency is key. So if you're doing it for one day and then not doing it, and doing it for 2 days and then not doing it, you're probably not going to see the results that you want. It is a commitment to rethinking your lifestyle. It is a commitment to paving a new road to health and wellness. I want to be like Betty White. I want to be 90 and just kicking it. And this is one of the main reasons I chose at the age of 40 to completely fix my food. So again, not being fully consistent. That is a huge, huge, huge mistake. All right, number 5, and we're getting close to the end of this. So just if you have questions, please think about them now. Making sure, it is so critical that you make sure you hit your calories and your macros for the day. Now, this is where a lot of people who do this on their own get super confused. It is so important that you understand how much food your body needs to fuel itself. I use this illustration a lot of times with our clients. Like, your vessel is like a car. You need gas, you need oil, you need fuel to make that car go. The same premise stands for your body. So you have to make sure that you are not starving yourself. One thing I see across the board when we bring new clients on is that they are generally eating 1,200 calories or less. If you're like me, I'm almost 49, been on the diet since age 9. And back in the day, our parents only knew what they knew, and that was for a girl to lose weight, you needed to be at 1,200 calories or less. Back in the day, for a guy, you needed to be at 1,700 calories or less. Those 2 ranges are not enough fuel. It's just not. So across the board, if you're doing intermittent fasting and you're implementing a 16/8 window or protocol, that means you have got to get all your fuel, all your meals in those 8 hours. But I can almost guarantee you, if you are not losing weight, it is very likely one of 2 things. 1, you're eating crap food, or 2, you're not eating enough. So that's super duper important. We do all the thinking for you for Be Martha Fit. We figure out all the calories and macros. There are a lot of calorie and macro calculators out there on the internet. Of course, you can always use one of those, but you've got to make sure that you are fueling your body in those 8 hours and really eating enough food. All right, number 6, and this is a big one. There are camps or groups of intermittent fasters who truly believe that they can implement a 16/8 protocol and eat crap food within their 8 hours. So basically, their thought process is, I'm going to fast for 16 hours and then I'm going to eat whatever I want in those 8 hours. Well, let me just tell you, number 1, we wear our food. We wear our food. I say this a lot to our new clients. You can often tell, and when I've shared progress pictures of myself when I've not been completely on plan, especially sugars and alcohols for women, you can see the pitting or the cellulite in the back of their legs, like by their hamstrings and their butt. That is where, for us women, we generally carry our sugar and our alcohol, if you're eating or drinking that. So then for men, quite often you will see it in their stomach, their belly. We call it the beer gut, right? But let's be real. That is where men wear their food. So what do I mean by you've got to be eating the right foods? You have to focus on whole foods, nutrient-dense foods. And you're like, what the heck are those? So whole foods, nutrient-dense foods, are those that come from the ground or come from a mother. Mother meaning chicken, egg, right? Ground, vegetables, fruits, things like that. So if you focus on this, single ingredient foods. Let me give you a really good example. Let's say you want to eat better. So you're like, okay, I'm for protein tonight, I'm going to go to the store and just get a bag of meatballs. Okay. We've all seen those bags of meatballs or bags of chicken, right? In the freezer section. So what's fascinating is the next time you go to the grocery store, I want you to look at that bag of meat and turn it around and look at the list of ingredients. I guarantee you there is many more ingredients than just one single ingredient in that bag of meatballs. Now you're probably thinking, well, it's meatballs. It should just be like ground beef in a ball, right? It's not. If you look at that bag of meatballs, there is very likely bread in it, some nasty soybean oil, a ton of sodium. Now, let's say you say, okay, I'm going to go to the grocery store and I'm going to make meatballs. So then you go to like the butcher section and you grab ground beef. If you look at that label, 100% ground beef, one ingredient. So make sure you're looking at the ingredients thinking, oh, I'm just going to buy this bag of chicken. I'm going to buy this bag of meatballs. Well, no, you're probably getting a lot more crap ingredients in that than what you truly want to be eating. So make sure you're eating whole, nutrient-dense, single ingredient foods. Now, you're probably also thinking, that sounds really boring. No, you guys, if you've been following me, my personal Facebook page, you see we have pizzas. We eat pizzas. I eat a cauliflower pizza. I'll eat a Kodiak cake pizza. I make muffins. We make incredible foods. We have remastered a lot of your favorites, and that's one of the reasons we started our recipe subscription website, recipes.bemarthafit.com. That's really important because if you're bored, or if you're thinking, oh my gosh, I just have to eat boiled chicken. No, you don't. You don't have to sacrifice. You don't have to feel deprived. You just have to rethink the ingredients that you're making. So those are my six top mistakes I see people trying to execute and then not lose weight with intermittent fasting. If you guys have questions, load me up now. Just a quick little plug, we are starting our next round of BeFast, which is 3 weeks of intermittent fasting with me and 2 other of my coaches. We're on a closed Facebook page. We tell you exactly what to eat. We give you options for breakfast, lunches, snacks. It's an incredible program. So many people do month after month after month. We do a BeFast, 3 weeks of intermittent fasting once a month. So the next round starts a week from today. This would be the week to get registered. Everything you need for only $72. And I promise you, if you follow the plan, you will see the results that you need. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. Again, if you have questions, if you guys have any questions or any concerns or like want some myths to be totally cleared up with the intermittent fasting, post on my page, send me a Facebook message. However I can help you, I am there. But just think about doing intermittent fasting. It is a credible way to just feel better, clearer mind, better energy, boost your immunity. That's a big one. Plus, lose weight. Hope you guys have a great Monday.